Hi everyone, this is another belief changer video. The special guest is Natasha Short. Natasha Short is the founder and managing director of Kimberley Jijigas. Jijigas is a word that is from the Jaro people, the language which means birds. So Kimberley Jijigas is its name, and the founder has worked in the area of community development for over 25 years, and her main goal is to empower Indigenous women in the Kimberley region. So she's a Kimberley woman who has strong links to her community and to her culture and her country, and she is an inspiring entrepreneur and businesswoman who's gaining a lot of credentials in that area of her consultancy business, which has its roots in empowering Indigenous people. But Natasha's story is one of, I feel, passion. She's very passionate about her goals, and this drives her with her business. So even when you hear Natasha speaking, she's very passionate and very direct, and which is really good and refreshing to see someone with that energy towards Indigenous issues. So Natasha's the podcast with Natasha was it was an interesting one. I can resonate, or I can relate to a lot of what Natasha was saying. I mean, as an Indigenous person, I come from that similar background to Natasha, like and she spoke about a lot of stuff that is hindering Indigenous people in this country, and I can agree with a lot of what Natasha was saying, just from my own kind of personal experiences and the journey that I've been undertaking in my life. I've had kind of similar story, working in Indigenous communities too, and having seen a lot of the politics that goes on in communities. And Natasha speaks a lot about how we're in terms of our knowledge of e-commerce and of commerce is pretty far back. We as Indigenous people don't really have much experience in knowing business and knowing e-commerce and about money and how to we have a lot of learning to do, and but we started way back, where maybe people from other backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, have more sort of experience with businesses and knowledge of businesses. Indigenous people kind of are a bit back there. We need to learn a lot more and get that support to help us empower our communities through business. It was I enjoyed it. It was a really good talk and very inspirational woman, Natasha Short. I love the fire in her. She's just reminds me of a lot of my mob from back home. They're really passionate and very strong in their culture and have a lot of fire in them too, But enjoyed that one, and Natasha herself is a very successful businesswoman, and because she knows what from what I got from it, she knows what her worth is. So she won't settle for her knowledge is she has a high value in terms of her self-knowledge and her cultural knowledge, so she doesn't settle for anything less than what she thinks she's deserved of. You know, her knowledge is she looks at her knowledge as something that is very valuable. So yeah, that's a very important point there, that a lot of us Indigenous people are we're a bit kind-hearted. You know, we don't have that. You know, we share with knowledge. You know, we share with people. We don't have that monetary understanding of monetizing our knowledge. But as Natasha explains it, you know, you got to really value your knowledge. You know, it's something that is very important, and you know, don't think it's something that's less. You know, always, you know, don't settle for anything less. Always have a high value of yourself and your knowledge. But yeah, I like that belief changer. That was excellent. But any Indigenous person out there who's looking to either run their own business, or you know, selling goods, or you know, you might sell a service, you know, to people. You know, it could be anything, you know, like health, or you know, fitness, or you know, any sort of cultural knowledge, or you know, whatever you want to share. But you know, I think it's like important, like what Natasha was saying. It's time for us now. This is our time. You know, as Indigenous people, we have a lot of opportunities coming up that is, you know, going to help us, you know, in terms of starting a business and using our cultural knowledge and expertise. But I think it's important that we take, you know, we make sure we grab a hold of these opportunities and use it to better our lives and our community and our families' lives. But yeah, so anybody interested, just maybe, you know, look up the first step. Just look up Indigenous, you know, e-commerce program, and type it in there with any of the social media areas there, Facebook, Instagram. Uh, you know, they'll be on LinkedIn, I guess. I think they would be on LinkedIn. Just type it in YouTube. They'll be on there, and that's a really good first step for anyone looking to start an online store. Um, Even if you're an Indigenous business, you know, you can, you know, also get a lot out of this Kahal Indigenous e-commerce program. You know, you could, you know, you've been in business for a while, but you haven't got a sort of online store. This would be a good opportunity to get into some training for Indigenous people that is free, and it's worth over $30,000. Yeah, and their social, you know, their mission is to empower the lives of 10 million Indigenous people. So yeah, I think it's a fantastic training program, and yeah. But I thank you all for the likes and shares, and I look forward to bringing you the next video in my upcoming sessions. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.